You get to ask Scott a question, and you have 1 minute for the question. He has 2 minutes to respond, and then you have 2 minutes to follow up.
Okay, thanks. Scott, you were recently quoted as saying that you believe that myself and Kevin Brady would not be effective leaders once we got where we're going, and that you have the job experience to say that you somehow are going to be more effective than myself and Mr. Brady. I'd like for you to expound a little bit more on these projects that you believe give you the leadership ability to go to Congress and get these things done. Because when you get to Congress, you're not talking about small operations, you're talking about very large things that are on very small scale. You understand you have to do incremental small bits of leadership around the board. And I just want to know, what is your breadth of experience to make you make the statement that I would not be effective in the Conroe Courier?
Okay, I actually said Kevin Brady has not been effective, and that I don't think you'll be effective. One of the reasons why is because until I got in this race, you've been running about 6 months, and I met with you 4 times, and you couldn't answer any of my questions. You've been doing a much better job tonight, by the way, and I appreciate that. But you didn't seem to be able to address any questions, and you didn't have to seem to have a depth of knowledge there. And I've been very concerned that you could go to Washington and sit down and face off a 20-year-old incumbent, a 20-year incumbent in Congress, when you couldn't answer my questions and a lot of the other conservative questions. My breadth of experience, I think I've actually covered quite a bit. For 10 years, one of the last projects I was involved with last year was the $80 million was the total number on the project. I actually designed all the infrastructure, designed all the output sections, and negotiated along the way. I don't know if you've ever dealt with large construction projects, but everything changes along the way. There's no set way. You draw all the plans, you lay everything out. It doesn't just get there by itself. Someone has to shepherd it along. Someone has to negotiate with the contractors, general contractors, the electrical contractors, the consultants, the committees, the building committees, the steering committees, everybody in the process. There are a lot of people involved in an $8 million project. There are a lot, and I do that over and over again, and we do it consistently on time and on budget.
You have 2 minutes to follow up.
Okay, thanks. I heard what you're saying about $80 million, and you don't know what I was thinking about the construction industry, but I don't know if you know, but ExxonMobil's projects are in fact construction oriented, the most recent being a $20 billion construction of a semi-submersible for offshore the northwest shelf of Australia. And I am in fact involved on managing that and seeing it through from the very beginning when we found natural gas to the part where we're actually now concept selection, and I will be involved with the front-end engineering design and the detailed engineering, and then we'll be in charge of making sure that the execution of that platform will be effective over the next 30 years. The reason why ExxonMobil put me there is because they felt like I was competent enough to handle that kind of thing. They put me in charge to make sure that I'm negotiating these contracts and doing these very things. When you're talking about an $80 million construction project, you're talking about pennies to a $1 billion project. I understand that it's the same kinds of principles, and I know that that's where you're going to go. But the vastness of what we're talking about is so enormous that you also have to know how to lead in teams, and you also have to know how to manage very other different countries. You have to know how to manage their contractors, their subcontractors. You have to be able to know what it takes to get the whole job done. And I agree, you've done a great job on the small projects, but I would think that it's the big projects. These are the projects that Washington are signing on for now that we need to attack. And the only way to attack a big project is to know where it fails. And big projects fail on time and schedule, which you have a good background on. But I also have a good background on making sure things come in early and under budget, because that's what my shareholders care about. They don't care about going over budget and being on time, or being on time and on budget. They want it cheap and they want it now.